Hey everyone, it's Tim Holtz and I'm here at Sizzix headquarters. Now, we all like to work with different types of Word dyes. One of my favorite things because you can use them on cards, scrapbook pages, planners, and journals, but did you know there's more than one way to actually use them? I want to introduce you to Shadow Script. Now, this is a new kind of hand-cut script font that not only creates words, but also has a drop shadow in there. And we recently released 3 different SKUs, different word assortments, and I think that's great because it will work for a variety of projects. But what makes it even more significant is the fact that we can actually create different effects. So here on the top is just using the script itself. And that Shadow Script is a very thin, but yet chunky kind of hand-cut font. There's also a drop shadow die that's part of the set, and there's a drop shadow for each word. You can incorporate both of those to actually create an outline, and this is very cool to create an outline of that word. We can layer them by stacking the shadow and the script. We can create a drop shadow simply by offsetting that script layer on the shadow, and you can inlay them. So many different effects with the same dies. How cool is that? So let me share with you how it's done. You can see down here that the Shadow Script actually has 2 dies for each word. There is the script die itself, and there is a drop shadow die. So here's how they work. I'm going to start just with some cardstock. Now, I like to take my cardstock and already add my adhesive sheets. And the adhesive sheets for Sizzix, you can either get the large sheet size or you can get the sheet size for your sidekick. So whatever ones you want to work are going to be perfect. But I like having that adhesive sheet, especially with these detailed dies. Now I'm just going to take my card and I'll share with you how we can create the outline. Now the outline is great because it's going to start with the drop shadow. That's going to create that large area. And these dies actually fit right inside one another. Look at that. They are perfectly designed to nest inside and create that layer. So I'm just going to place this down so I have an idea of how much paper I need. And I'm just going to take my scissors and I'm just going to cut straight across here just so I can see that everything fits together. Now the next thing you're going to need to do is get some type of light tack tape. It could be washi tape. I'm using just a micropore tape, any kind of tape, because what we need to do is we need to center that script die inside the shadow to make sure there is an outline that has, you can see that dot all the way around. We can see that gap because if you don't have this centered, you might have too thin of an edge for your outline. So I'm just going to kind of place that and just kind of eyeball it. It's going to be fine. And just stick my tape down. There we go. Now we're ready to cut. So to do that, we're going to use the sidekick. Now, of course, you can use your Big Shot, your Vagabond, but I love the fact that it fits in the sidekick because they are small dies. So I'm just going to engage that. I have a slick surface. I'm working on the tonic media mat. So any slick surface is going to kind of suction down your machine. And we're going to take our 2 cutting pads that come with our sidekick. All right. All I'm going to do is place that right onto the cutting pad, place another one right on top, place it into the machine. The handle is going to come towards me, and I'm just going to crank that through. Hear that little cracking sound, perfectly normal, that's fine. And then this is what we end up with, right? So we can see here that when it cuts, I'm just going to carefully remove this tape from the backing. And I like to do this so I can keep my dies engaged in here. Here we are. So any type of low tack tape is going to be best for this. All right, let's peel that off. There we go. I'll peel that off. There we go. And remember, we still have our adhesive sheets on the back, all right? Here's what we end up with. We end up with our outline, right? And the outline is really nice because take a look at that. We've actually cut the entire outline of that word, and you can use it just like that. Or we have the script. And if you take your die pick, you can pop out all of those little openings, and now we have the script. And the adhesive sheet, what's nice about that, you can see it even cuts that. You can peel that off and you can adhere it to your card with ease. You don't need any type of liquid glue or anything. You can just peel and stick. Now, another thing I want to share with you is if you were not going to use both of the dies together, you wanted to create just that shadow or that opening, that's really easy to do. We can simply take another piece of cardstock. So I'll just start with just a gray. Could be anything you want. Same thing, I'm just going to place my die down just so I know how much of that paper I need. I just find it much easier to do this way. Cut a piece like that. I can reuse that tape just to make sure that my die doesn't move around when I go to cut it. And same thing, we're just going to place that right between those 2 cutting pads. Love that. The sidekick, creative convenience. See, it's just a really quick pass. I don't have to worry about running through a full-size cutting pad. Now when we peel this off, take a look at that. What I love about this one is look at that big window that it creates, that drop shadow. So we can just use that as is. We also have, of course, our drop shadow piece that we've cut. But another great way to use the shadow script, especially when using the shadow, is to create a shaker. So here you can see that I've gone in and used that shadow to cut a window. I backed it with just a transparency in there, and if you look inside, you'll see the script word is in there as well. So many different ways that you can work with the shadow script from Sizzix.